Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on configuring NSE3000. So as part of this video, what we'll be demonstrating is setting up an Ipsec tunnel between NSE3000 and Mikrotik. So here in this case, the NSE3000 will operate in responder mode and it has a static IP address 10.110.200.52. And the Mikrotik router will be at the remote office and it is going to operate in initiator mode. And the subnet which is behind the Mikrotik is 192.168.88.0. So the hosts which are there as part of the 88.0, they should have a reachability to 192.168.10.0, which is behind the NSE. And once the tunnel is established, they should be able to have the connectivity. Okay. So now let's just walk through the configuration that we need to do to establish the IPsec tunnel between NSE3000 and Mikrotik. So as mentioned, that the NSE would operate in responder mode. Then we define the local and remote ID, which will be the IP address itself. And then we define the local and remote subnets. Okay. So on the NSE, the local subnet is 10.0, and on the Mikrotik, the local subnet is 88.0. Then we define the passwords, and we define the phase 1 and phase 2 parameters. So the encryption would be AES 256 for phase 1, the integrity would be SHA 256, and DH group would be 15. Similarly, for the phase 2 also, the encryption would be AES 256, the integrity would be SHA 256, and the DH group would be 15. Right? Now, coming back to the Mikrotik configuration. So on the Mikrotik, the configuration is done as two parts, the phase 1, phase 2. And as part of the phase 1 configuration, we have three parameters to configure: the profile, the peer, and the identity. So in profile, we define the encryption, the integrity, and the DH group. So here we define all the three parameters. After that, we define the peer IP address, and then as part of the identity, we configure the password. In case of phase 2, we define the proposal. So as part of that proposal, we define the encryption, the integrity, and the DH group. And in the policy, we define what is my local subnet and the remote subnet. Right. One important thing that we need to do additionally in Mikrotik is that we have to go ahead and also configure a firewall policy and a NAT rule to exempt the traffic which is going from the local subnet 88.0 to the remote subnet 10.0. Right. Now, this step is not required in case of NSE because once we define the local and remote subnet, we automatically exempt it from source netting. But in case of Mikrotik, we have to go ahead and do that configuration, because if we don't do that, then even though the tunnel will be established, but there won't be any traffic moving across. So this is an important step in case of Mikrotik. So I'll show you where we do that configuration. So let's begin the configuration for first of setting the NSE, and then we will be configuring the Mikrotik. Okay. We log into the cloud account. So this is the NSE to which we will be establishing connection. Okay. Now let me go to the configuration, edit configuration, go to VPN. There is already one tunnel configured. We'll add one more. Let's name this tunnel as to Mikrotik. Okay. The IKE version would be IKEv2. The role would be responder, and then we will be defining the remote ID and local ID, which is the remote ID is the IP address of the Mikrotik, which will be 200.16.9, and the local ID is 200.52. This is /26 and /27 subnetted. So yeah, they are part of different subnets. So we define the local and remote subnet. Local subnet is 10.0/24. Remote subnet is 88.0. And then we define the PSK. Okay. we need to set the encryption as AES256. Rest of the one will remove. Integrity is SHA256. DH group is 15. Similarly for the AES256, integrity is SHA256 and DH group is 15. Click on Add Tunnel. Save the configuration. Make sure that the configuration gets in sync. So it is in sync. Verify the configuration is applied on the device. So you just click on View Device Configuration and then just verify that the name is there. So yeah, to Mikrotik it is there. Phase 1, Phase 2 parameters are configured correctly. Local and remote subnets are configured. So remote ID is 200.69, local ID is 200.52. So yeah, all looks good here. Now let's do the Mikrotik configuration. So as I mentioned earlier, the configuration on Mikrotik is split into parts, the phase 1 and phase 2 parameters. And as part of the phase 1 parameter, we need to define or we need to configure three things. One is profile, then identity, and then peers, right? And then as part of phase 2, we define the proposal and then policies. So let's do one by one. So under IP, first of all, let me see what are the addresses. So this is my WAN IP address, and this is the local subnet. Okay. So we go to the Ipsec. Under that, we first configure the profile, the phase 1 parameters profile. So I say NSE peer NSE hash algorithm will be SHA256, and then encryption we will select it as AES256. DH group will be 3072, which is equivalent to group 15. Okay. Uncheck the snap traversal, click on apply, click on OK. Now next thing is we configure the peer. So click on add. So we say NSE peer. We define the IP address 10.100.200.52. Select the profile which we configured earlier. Exchange mode will be IKEv2, which is the most advanced method. And then here we make sure that they set initial context, so which indicates that it will be in the initiator mode. Okay. Click OK. Then click on identities. So this is already here. Let's define the password. Okay. Okay. Click on OK. Click on. So that completes our phase 1 configuration. Now let's do the phase 2. So as part of phase 2, first we go ahead and define the proposal. So proposal, we say NSE, and then we select SHA256. Encryption we select as AES256 CBC, sorry, and then 3072. Apply OK. Click OK. Then we define the policies. So here we select the peer, we enable the tunnel, and they define the local and remote subnet. So the local subnet here is 192.168.88.0/24, and the remote subnet is 192.168.10.0/24. Okay. Click on apply, click OK. So that completes our tunnel configuration. Okay. So let's just give it some time. So phase 1 is established. Message 1 says established. Now we click on the policies. Here we should see established if the tunnel is successfully established. Let's give it some time. Meanwhile, we just go ahead and do the configuration on the firewall. So as I mentioned earlier, we have to, under the firewall rules, we have to go to the NAT and then click on firewall policies. Click on advanced here, general, source of 8.880/24. Here we define 192.168.10.0/24, which is my remote subnet. Then go to actions, accept, statistics. Yeah, we can say no, apply. Okay. Make sure that you move this rule above the default rule. Otherwise, this rule will not get hit. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and check the Ipsec again. It still says no phase 2. So we need to see what's going wrong. Yeah, so phase 1 is established but not phase 2. Let's click on tool, service debug, logs, VPN. Oh, okay. Somewhere I misconfigured the Mikrotik. It says that the received proposal is mod 3072. Configured proposal is 3072, which is group 15, but the received proposal is 1024. So somewhere I misconfigured. Okay. Okay, select here. Ah, yes, I didn't select the proposal. So it was using the default proposal. All right, the phase 2 tunnel is established. Let me check the phase 1. The phase 1 is also established. We have already configured the firewall rule. So I think we are good. Now let's check the connectivity. Let's rerun this command again just to see the tunnel is established. So we show debug -logs VPN. So we should, okay, so we see this log child SA to Mikrotik is established, which indicates that the tunnel is established. So let's navigate to network, VPN sites, give it some time. It takes usually 5 minutes to update. Okay, yeah, it's pretty quick though. So this was the tunnel is established. Now let's check the reachability to this remote subnet. Can we ping to the default IP? So let's ping that. 168. Okay, so we have reachability. Also in our event log, we should see an event. Okay, the latest one is not yet come. The update interval is 5 minutes, so it will come after 5 minutes. But yeah, we have the tunnel up. The reachability is there, so we are all good. So that concludes our training video. Um, Thank you.